Today we are going to discuss about the topic of the effective public speaking. Start with the introduction of public speaking. Public speaking has traditionally meant the act of speaking face to face, live, audience, but today includes any form of speaking to an audience, including pre-recorded speech delivered over great distance by means of technology. What is public speaking basically? Public speaking was developed as a sphere of knowledge in Greece and Rome, where prominent thinkers confide it as a central part of rhetoric. Today, the act of public speaking has been transformed by newly available technology such as video conferencing, multimedia presentations, and other non-traditional forms, but the essentials remain the same. Public speaking is used for many different purposes, but usually as some mixture of teaching, persuasion, or entertaining. Each of these calls upon slightly different approaches and techniques. Similarly, this is a Confucius, one of many scholars associated with public speaking, once taught that if a speech was considered to be a good speech, it would impact the individual's life, whether public speaking is the process of speaking to a group of people in a structured and deliberate manner to inform, influence, or entertain the listeners. We have some presenting inner skills and can be developed through training and experiences. As a broad generalization, public speaking seeks either to reassure a troubled audience or to awaken a complacent audience to something important. Having decided which of these approaches is needed, a speaker will then combine information and storytelling in the way most likely to achieve it. Basically, despite its name, public speaking is frequently delivered to a closed, limited audience with a broadly common outlook. Audiences may be ardent fans of the speaker, they may be hostile, or they may be random strangers. All the same, effective speakers remember that even a small audience is not one single mass with a single point of view, but a variety of individuals. In this, we have some ideas, visions, successes, and strategies. We have some presentation skills. In the context of the presentation skills, we have to know that how we will good in presenting skills are the skills you need in delivering effective and engaging presentations to a variety of audiences, and these skills cover a variety of areas such as the structure of your presentation, the design of your slides, the tone of your voice, and the body language. A good presentation is the single most effective tool any organization can have. Basically, in this, not every tip will lead to a successful presentation. What is a presentation? That is a fundamental business tool. Reflects companies like image, value, systems, vision, basis of relationship with clients, maintain eye contact while presenting and smile, use of gestures and facial expressions, avoid distraction, be prepared, practice makes a perfect, be confidence. Basically, one of the most painful thing in a presentation is listening to a presenter who is clearly bored and uninterested in the topic. For a presentation to be effective, you need to get the audience excited. What kind of aim of presentation? Aim of presentation basically is like that. The goal could be either to produce, inform, inspire, or entertain the audience. The best speech is a combination of all four, but one should be the backbone of the speech. Be very specific about what you want to achieve. In this second step, it is important for you to write down your main goals. Basically, firstly, we have to inform, inspire or persuade, to communicate views, and to educate. Firstly, to inform. In the context of the inform, that is, firstly, we should have to know about the all kind of context that is determine whether your purpose simply is to reply to a request, furnish updated information, or maintain contact. You may be giving good or bad news, but either way, the message won't upset your audiences. Presentations offer ideal opportunities to inform others about any progress, new development, announcements, new products, or market opportunities, etc. Next is to persuade. Basically, for the persuasion is an act or process of presenting arguments to move, motivate, or change your audience. Persuasion is the process and motivation is the compiling stimulus that encourages your audiences to change their beliefs or behavior, to adopt your positions, or to consider your arguments. A persuasive speech works to convince people to change or do something or to do start doing what they are not currently doing. To communicate views. Basically, if we are talking to someone, we should have to create some kind of views, that is what kind of talking we are and what we can do in a different kinds of ways. Basically, the three most well-known models of communication are linear, interactional, and transactional. As West and Turner explain, each model sheds light on the development of communication but emphasizes different parts of the communication process. It also emphasizes is not on transmission but on reception and understanding by audience so that your message is understood, remembered, and acted upon. Basically, communication is defined as the giving, receiving, or exchanging information, opinion, ideas, and message is completely understood by everybody involved. Firstly, we have to educate. In the context of the education, we know about what things should be kept in mind while education. Because nowadays, education is very important thing in the communication. Because in the communication, education is very important for promoting health communication, enriching the educational enterprises, understanding crisis, safety, risk, and security, and influencing diplomas. Properly designed, presentation can be used as a great education tool. It can serve to educate and motivate people. What kind of impact of communication and education in our daily life? According to me, education is nowadays is a very important part for our life. With the help of the education, we can get a job and a perfect job in any company, any profession, and any field. And knowledge is nowadays is a very good thing because without knowledge, we can't do anything and we can't get any kind of job without getting knowledge. Effective public speaking is influence. Influence is leadership. Leadership is being different and successful. Being different and successful, making a positive contribution, and making a positive contribution is creating an impact. What kind of common causes of the effective presentation? With the help of effective presentation, we can do anything regarding the presentation here. First of all, we always try to keep the attention of your audience and keep them engaged during a presentation. To do this, it is advisable to regularly involve the audience. One way to do things is to ask questions and deliberately ask the easy questions so that can easily be answered by your audience. We have to planning your presentation, analyze your audience, select a topic, define the objective of the presentation, preparing the content of your presentation, and prepare the introduction and the conclusion. Failure to motivate the audience, confusing structure, excessive details, and poorly designed slides. Firstly, we have to knowledge that effective presentation skills are important because they help keep a presentation meeting, help the presenter communicate with confidence, and motivate the audience to listen. Some essential presentation skills are creating variety, speaking with optimal audibility. Firstly, effective presentation involves the four key components. First is the situation. It involves finding the purpose, occasions, and environment in which the presentation is made. Next is the audience. In the audience, we have to identify that who will be my audience. What are their needs and expectations? What is their knowledge about the topic? And then try to exceed their expectations. Because if audience is like that, he or she will not comfortable to listen or to eye contact with us. After that, we can't convey them to do something or to follow us. So firstly, we have to exceed their expectations. Next is the speaker. Understanding, controlling, and conquering your fears and developing a unique presentation style. If we have no any kind of good things, we have no a perfect skills or for a good vocal and a good presentation topic, so the audience is getting bored, so they don't attain getting attention towards the speaker. So that's why we have to able that the speaker is good and they have a important and attractive topic for the discussions. The presentation, deciding its goals and objectives, then planning and preparing, finally developing an impressive presentation. In the context of the presentation, firstly, we have to decide the goals and objectives. If we have no any goals, without we are maintaining our projected objectives, we are start their presentation about a particular topic, so that's going to be a fall. Because firstly, we have a proper goal, then we have to plan that what kind of situation we will manage and what kind of things we will do. And then we have to prepare the whole presentation, the whole problems, and the whole idea. Finally, we have to develop an impressive presentation. Next is follow the Jolson principle, which is give the audience what they want, give them something now, and learn them waiting more. Firstly, we have to think that what kind of our target audience. If we have no target audience, we don't know what kind of product or what kind of skills we have to manage for our audience. So how we will manage that all things? So firstly, you have to know that what kind of things and what kind of services, what kind of facilities our audience want. After that, we have to do something more. And then we have to wait in more. Maximum number 2, that is your audience don't care. It is true that your audience don't care about you. That's really true. But we have to care about their customer, about their audience, because that is the point of our product, our image, and our reputation. So that's why, firstly, we have to manage that all things. They care only about themselves. So remember to give them what they want. You just have to do all kind of things just for their audiences with the help of our communication skills. So focus on your audiences needs to know. Firstly, we have to know about our audiences. What kind of our audiences, what they want for us, and what kind of do they are doing. Because without audiences, analysis involves identifying the audiences and adapting a speech to their interest, level of understanding, attitudes, and beliefs. Taking an audience-centered approach is important because speakers' effectiveness will be improved if the presentation is created and delivered in an appropriate manner. What is the importance of the audiences in the presentation basically? It guides the intent of their writing and determines how complex or how simple the piece should be. It helps them determine what presentative and perspective is appropriate to write for, and it provides them with an understanding of what is going to either appeal to or deter their audiences. What kind of phases of the presentation? In the context of the presentation, we just have that many kind of phases we have in the presentation. First, the planning phase. Develop main points. We have to focus the main context. The presentation phase, structure your presentation, and the delivery phase. This involves your personal style. Firstly, we have to plan and prepare our points in the presentation. In the context of this second, we have to structurize your presentation, that what will we are delivered their points step by step, and this involves your personal style and in what kind of styles we will deliver the presentation in front of the audiences, in front of the clients, and in front of our colleagues, their students also. So our first topic is the planning. Planning is that decide in advance. If we don't think about the planning, so we can't do anything perfectly. Because planning is that context where we have to manage that whole. So that's why we should have to think about that. in the context of the presentation. Firstly, we have to analyze your audience, select a topic, define the objective of the presentation, prepare the body of the presentation, prepare the introduction and the conclusion, practice delivering the presentation, purpose of the presentation, who will be attending, audience's knowledge about the topic, what is the venue, and what is the total time allotted. Subject of presentation is: decide in advance your message or subject of talk, have a strong conviction on what you want to talk, how will be prepared our presentation, basically what kind of steps we should have to preparation for the presentation, create a thesis, structure on the presentation with the audience's knowledge level in mind. Don't overload your presentation with examples or facts. Rehearse with the technology, arrive early, be realistic about public speaking nerves. In the context of this, firstly, the introduction is the most important part of your presentation, as it sets the tone for the entire presentation. Its primary purpose is to capture the attention of the audience, usually within the first 15 seconds. Make those first few words count. There are many styles you can use to get the audience's attention. First of all, organize your points logically. Structure your outline into a presentable format. Follow the universal speaker's law, which says, tell them what you are going to tell, then tell them at the end, tell them what you have told them. A suggested model for the presentation: in this, a suggested model for presentation, that is preview. Tell them what you are going to tell them. Next, in the introduction, the view, body of your talk, review. Tell them what you told them in your summary. Because without summary, that's not possible to do something. That is the presentation. Every presentation should have start with their introduction, a good attention getting opener, then in the body, a brief summary of the topic, then a conclusion. Similarly, that is totally similar to the structure of the news, that is inverted pyramid style. Firstly, that is the lead, then body and tail. Similarly, when we start the making your presentation, firstly we have to start with the introduction, then body, and then conclusion. The conclusion should include a dynamite, thought-provoking closer, following a brief summary of what you told them. Speaking tips for the professionals, like speech writing, deliver of power of rhetoric, adding humor, 4 steps to perfect presentation and visual aids. What kind of rehearse in the private? Practice, practice, and practice. Because practice makes a person perfect. Do this in front of a mirror or in front of a friend or get a video recording and view it critically. We all doing things nowadays very easily and very commonly this technique. We are doing these things that need practice. Your smile, gestures, head and eyes, and sincerity. Because if we react like that, I'm getting bored for delivering the presentation. So what kind of expectations do you for your audiences? If you feel getting bored, that your audience is just zero. Practice with the equipment you will be using. Because if you make that your microphone is your friend, that you feel very better and very comfortable in front of the audiences. Keep notes to a minimum. If necessary, use index cards. Jot down main points on a set of index cards. It will serve as a memory jogger for the actual presentation. If you think and if you care about that when you are going on the stage in front of the audiences in the dice, that you forget some points, that firstly you have to note a main topic just on your cards because it's presentable. It seriously look presentable. Why fear public speaking? Why we feel very nervous in front of the audiences? Is just our fear, our phobia. Cue nervousness. The audience probably never noticed your nervousness. Try to confuse nervousness. Try to minimize your stage fear. Take deep breath and try to relax. If required, sip a little water. Before going to the stage, remind yourself, I can do it. If you just think that I can't do this, you seriously never do this. Never. If you think that I can do it, then you feel always ready for do anything that you do anything. You can't not. You do anything. Practice, pause, and breathe. Concentrate on the topic and not on the audience. Remember, even the best presenter make mistakes. Then winners continue while the losers stop. Don't be afraid. Sometimes audience may seem intimidating, but always remember that they are also people like you. Imagine that you are addressing your friends. Build rapport. The key to effective public speaking is to manage the relationship between yourself and the audience so that a good reporter is developed with them. Shake hands with a few audience, mingle, learn names, Try to create good first impression and remember people listen to people they like. Delivering speech like a beginning, walk calmly with confidence, establish eye contact, smile naturally, and deliver introduction. Start with a good attention gather because a good presentation starts with the introduction and an icebreaker such as a story or a suitable quotation. Body of the presentation, cover the subject, use shorter and simple words and graphs, chart wherever possible. In the context of the voice is probably most valuable tool and they should not be too fast and too high or too soft. Because a good speakers lower their voice to draw the attention of the audiences and raise it to make a point. The tone of voice gives evidence of your feelings and emphasize a point by slowing down. Similarly, in the context of the voice and the volume, don't talk flat, use pause and but according to the need. In the context of the presentation, we just have to use the eye contact that this conveys the interest, concern and the warmth. It also makes your audience more comfortable and they will like to listen to you more. Similarly, just as the gestures used while speaking capture the attention and makes the presentation more interesting. Similarly, maintain a good presentation and a good posture. You have to analyze your stance and improve your stance. Make an impression, dress appropriately and study yourself in the mirror. So dress formally, looking interesting and presenting a calm exterior. Close on a positive notes, call for action points, and at the end, thanks the audiences for being attentive. So thank you so much. I hope you're clear about the all context of the public speaking, what kind of tools we have to use and what kind of communication we have to do in front of the audiences. That's all. So thank you so much.